Welcome back. We have finished the eye of the kitty, and we are now going to get into the rest of the face. And I'm hoping in this video we will finish it entirely. So we've got to be really careful going forward the direction of the fur line because they are very distinct markings. So there is almost like a light browny yellow below the eye, which is very much like a burnt ochre or brown ochre, maybe even, actually, I like the brown ochre, which we're going to start with right below the eye. And it starts about partway through the eye, so I have some lines here that I'm just going to go in and remove first. Just going to go through here. Just lightly getting rid of these marks. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same here because the marks sort of sit on the page a little bit, so I'm not too worried erasing them because I have a pretty good idea of where they are still. So we're just going to get rid of them now, but you can keep your lines in if you want till we get there. Okay, and then I'm going to leave those ones because it's going to be black, so it's not going to make any bit of difference. It'll be covered. So right about here, it goes this way. We're just going to go lightly, small, tiny little wisps in the direction of the fur line, or fur direction. I don't know why I always say fur line. Okay. We're just slowly working our way across. And it comes to about almost right around here. So I'm just going to start here so I can match up a bit. Some of my lines that I erased there. Okay. Just going very lightly. And it is a pale blonde color there. So we're just going to lightly move the brown ochre over this area. Sort of let it wisp out. I start at what would be the root of the fur and then just sort of wisp it out. Okay. And then there seems to be a little bit right here where we brought in those marks with the indenting tool. It's just going to create a little bit longer fur right here, not much though, because you have to remember the length of the fur or the length of your line is going to denote the length of the fur. And since it is short fur, we do want it to be short. So there's some yellow through here. And right here. So I think what I'm going to do is do a little bit of yellow right here. Again, just light feather-like pencil strokes in the direction of the fur. And this is going to be covered up partly with black. That's okay. Just going to bring it in where we would like that to be. And then it kind of wisps into the white that's right here. So we're just going to very lightly, watching the reference photo continuously to make sure that you're going in the direction of the fur. It's really important because that's going to build the shape of the face and have it pop right off the page. So we're just going through very lightly. Okay, just right there. And then it goes lightly into here. Okay. You're just lightly bringing it in. So we're going to go over this with black in certain areas, so that's okay. And then we're going to even take our X-Acto knife and bring in some white hairs into it as well. So I don't know how well this is going to work on mixed media paper. We will find out. That's how we learn. Gotta try it. And then there's a little bit around the black here, so we're just faintly following the fur direction, putting in a little bit there, and I'm going to leave that for now. Okay. Then we're going to get the black, and we're going to start in this little, there's like these little dark, I don't know what these are, but most cats have them, the markings. They usually go in the shape of an M or a W. And we're just going to do the same thing with the black. And we're just going to keep going over and over and over and over and over and over and over until we build up the desired richness of the black that we'd like. So just continuously doing short black pencil strokes. And it comes down around here. I am actually going to plug this in real quick and sharpen this. It's sharp. Well, I'd like it to be really sharp. Excuse the noise. Okay. And then I've got to plug you guys in. I forgot to do that. I'm just going to excuse my arm for a second while I plug you guys in. The battery's fine right now, but it won't be for the whole video. So there we go. Perfect. Okay. So we're just going back in the black. Just the sharper it is, the better it will lay the color down. And just take your time. And when we're done this area, we're going to do this little part right here in the center as well again. So I am going to actually just be quiet for a few minutes while we work on this. Just remember, short pencil strokes, build up the black in the direction that the fur goes in. Light pencil strokes. And when we're done this section, I will be back. Well, I'll still be here, but you know what I mean. I'll start yakking it again. Okay, and then we're starting here in this little area. Take your time. And the back just comes down a little bit here. Just going to bring the odd light here through the white. Pay attention very carefully to that fur direction. I'm going to get a Colgrace 4. Just do some light pencil strokes coming down. And right here in the corner of the eye, do you see there is gray that goes about halfway up the eye. Watch the direction of the fur on the nose, especially. It goes up like this. And you're just going a little light pressure. Okay. Your nose usually has very tiny hairs too, so you want to be extra careful at how long your brush strokes are, your pencil strokes. And come right where that blonde ends. There is a shadow in the white that comes down. Still watching that fur direction. Little tiny pencil strokes. The Coolgrey 4. And then the fur direction starts to change right about here. Okay. And the hairs change again right about here. I'm just doing feather-like pressure on the paper. Okay, right down to the nose. Just bring it down here. The nose area on the sides is generally the hardest to, they have to pay the most attention to, not the hardest, but have to be very wary of. So I figure we may as well get that out of the way. So the gray doesn't go across the little upper lip area, upper mouth lip area. I don't know what you call that. It doesn't go wholly across. It goes sort of in the middle of it. So that is what I am doing right now. And then I will go back over the areas that are a bit more shadowed, like towards the nostril area, and add in even more layers of the Coolgrey 4. Right about here as well. There. Okay, and then right here, it kind of goes like this. And right here. So I'm just putting in an extra layer over top of the Coolgrey 4 just to deepen where the little darker areas are. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want it to go in the direction that the fur goes. And I keep shoving it home because that is important. And then right here around the nostril, we'll deepen it even darker afterwards with other colors. We just want to get that gray in there. Okay. Cat's back. Hello, turkey. Okay. And then going to bring some Cool Gray 4 right into about here. Just little tiny random marks through the fur, heading towards the nose. Just lightly, not everywhere, just sort of sparsely and thinly through that area. And then we are moving down the cheek, sort of under where the darker area is, a little bit darker there. Comes out a little bit darker here. So I just got my hand further or higher up the pencil, just to create that more light, wispier strokes. Okay. Sort of building up a little bit of darkness that comes around the side of the face here. And it comes right up just before the nose area. Right about here. Still tiny little pencil strokes. And then we're just going to move them up. Okay. Then we're coming back up just through here. Darken this up just a little bit. Okay. And we're going to grab dark sepia. And then we're just going to figure out a few of these little marks here. Doing some little wisps of lines through the upper area, the upper lip cheeky area here. Since it is quite a bit darker than the other areas. And then I'm just going over where we created a bit of a shadow with the gray, and I'm going over it a little bit deeper, the dark sepia, those little dark areas, just lightly, because it is quite a bit darker than the rest of the face in the white area anyways. And these are the areas where we see the whiskers sort of come off. And then I'm just going to fill in this area with circular pencil strokes around the nose and then up into the one nostril that we see here. Just sort of filling it in lightly. Okay, and then right here, there's a bit of darkness in the lines. I'm just going to slowly put that in too. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with the Cool Gray 4. I'm just going to blend that dark sepia around the nose. Again, just circular motions, light pressure. And then we're going to grab a beige red, and we're going to go over the nose area with those same circular pencil strokes. And we're just going to fill it in nice and fully. Okay. I'm just going to erase a little bit of the line I have right here. And then I'm just going to erase part of this sepia that I brought in too far. Bring it down to here. And then I'm going to come in with the salmon very lightly and just darken up the side of the nose that has a bit of a shadow. Just like that. And then just edge in the center there, and then come back in with the beige red. Go right over top the whole thing again and blend it. So light to medium pressure. Okay. We're going to come back in with the black. And we're going to start up at the top. There is another black area right about up here. So we're just going to bring in some light black hair here. And then we're going to move up the side of the hair here. Just going lightly. And right when it comes up around here, we're going to come right over this brown ochre. And then you're just watching that fur direction. Goes towards this way. Oh, I see ya. You're a hard kitten to miss. You're going right over it. And then above that brown ochre, there seems to be a black area again. And instead of just making it fully black, we are going to do exactly like we did here. Okay, so we're just doing light pencil strokes right up over the brown ochre. So we still want to see it. That was the whole point. There is black through it. Oh, I have restless. Well, I say restless legs, but it's in my feet. And it's driving me bananas. Okay. And we're just going to slowly build this black up. So just keep working from this area to that line that comes down around the side of the eye. And I will be back as soon. Well, I'm still here, but I'll be quiet until that part comes. So just small pencil strokes in the direction of the fur, light pressure, build it up slowly. And I will just mute myself so we get to that part. Now what we're going to do is just fill in these dark part of the black so that it's nice and dark black. So you can start doing a little bit more pressure. Just stay away from the areas with the white where the beige is there. You might also want to make your pressure a little bit more closer to medium pressure as you go. So now I'm just going above where we created those light wispy black lines. And I'm filling this in as well because it is black in the photograph. So I'm doing the same as before, light wispy strokes in the direction of the fur, and then I will build it up. It comes right to just beside the black, right about here, and then down to about here. So just follow the fur line, build it up, and we'll be back. Okay, so just going to sort of blend this hair in here. So around where the dark hair has come in, we're just going to drag out some stray black hairs away from it so it sort of blends into the regular fur and into that brown ochre that we created. So we're just lightly bringing it in and letting it sort of fade out as it comes in. Okay, so just lightly, so we're just building up that color to let it fade into the rest. So we can sort of do this here. So we start up a little bit more than lighter pressure and then fading off into that light pressure again as we get further away from the black. Just sort of like that. So you start off the light to medium pressure, then back to light. Light to medium pressure, back to light. Okay, just like that. Slightly. Dragging it right out from the black in the same direction of the fur. Okay. I'm just going to bring it out this way. And even lighter pressure towards this way. It's feather-like. And then we see the fur pick up here because this is where we're going to go in deep with the black again. So we're just going to follow that fur direction around. It comes about here. So we're just comes to about there. So just lightly at first, building up that black so we know where it's going, making sure we have it where we want it to be, just like this. And we can even bring some light hairs like that, just sparsely into that area. And then we're going to bring this right down to the edge of the eyelid. And then in the direction of the fur, just start building it up, building it up, building it up. Get it nice and dark like the rest. Apologize for my cat. He is hungry and thinking I should just hop to. But my cat is a talker. He definitely likes to tell you off and demand what he wants. So, or create mischief when he doesn't get it. So I might have to at some point pause this. Well, not pause this, but run and give him crap and then come back. Okay. Pretty much guaranteed that's going to happen at some point. Okay, so we're just coming in again. It's okay that it's not perfect. We just want to make sure that it goes in the direction of the fur. Then we're also going to come in with the X-Acto knife to bring in some more white hairs. So I just want to leave this area right about here a little bit sparser, right in here. And then down the nose, And then we've got some dark hairs that come in right to the brown ochre underneath the eyelid. So we're just going to follow again the fur direction and bring that in. I might add some more brown ochre. Doesn't seem dark enough. And then this comes to about here and comes back out. Again, it's okay if you feel like you're putting too much black in because we're going to come in the X-Acto knife and bring in some more white hairs. So we're just slowly moving in the direction of the fur. Hands higher up the pencil. As you're doing this, light pencil strokes. You can always build them up. Okay, so right about here, I'm just going to start building it up a little bit and then build up some more to about here. Starts getting quite a bit darker again. So I'm just sort of blocking that in where it's going to be a lot darker. Still going in the direction of the fur. Okay. Going to block that in. And it comes down to about here roughly. And then we can darken this up some more in a moment. A little bit more here. And then right about here, we see it dark again. Right about here. Just let that trail off. Okay. So what we're going to do now is the same as up here. We're just going to block in this darker area. And we will, like I said, you see the white hairs. That's more than okay. We'll bring them in with the X-Acto knife. Just slowly building that black up. The black of the polychromos is not like the darkest for laying down right away, so you may have to resharpen your pencil. I have not yet. Just keep sort of twirling it around in my fingers to get the sharpest edge. Because I want to get this nice and dark, but I don't think it has to be quite as dark as the top area. Almost, but if it gets that dark, that's okay too. But if it doesn't, I'm not too worried about it. So I want to get it nice and dark, heading towards the direction of the fur. Make sure to stop for a second, especially when you're using heavier pressure, to give your arm, wrist, and fingers a bit of a break. Move around a little bit in your chair. Okay, just moving back towards this way. Trying to keep a consistent color across. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's sort of what you're aiming for. And then again, we're going to do that down here. Just be careful of the edge of the paper. You want to make sure you get it, because if you don't, it can look kind of achy when you get to the bottoms and the top of pages. Okay, I'm just going to lightly bring this in. Okay. And then I'm going to go into the nostril of the nose and around the side. Just lightly build that up a bit. Not all of where I put the sepia, but just along the edges. Build it up to give it a little bit more shadow and depth. Okay, and then along the bottom here, we have the beginning of the mouth. So I'm just going to lightly wisp in some black to give the idea of where the mouth is. Of course, we don't see the full thing, but we want that idea of where their mouth is. And Cat's like, I know what I want my mouth for food right now, lady. Okay, I'm just going to bring it down a little bit more. I'm going to let you guys catch up for a second while I feed the monster. And I am going to bring some cool gray 4 just below the mouth in the same direction, sort of bringing the fur down. I'm going to go right into that black too, just to fill it in nice and rich. With nice firm pressure. Okay, there we go. And just like this. There we go. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So now I need to come back in with the brown ochre. What did I do with it? Did I put it away? Probably. Oh, sure did. All right. And then right here, just going to bring in a little bit more lightly over where we brought in some wisps of the black. Sort of spot where you see it more richly on the photograph. And then I'm going to bring it out actually a little bit further here. And then it kind of comes into this black area here too. It comes out. Okay. And in here. And I'm going to get that black and I'm going to, my cat is going to send me to the nut house, what he's going to do. I'm going to sharpen it one more time, just so it's extra pointy. Yeah, he's got the zoomies. Oh my lord. Okay, gonna be noisy for 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. And then I am replugging you guys back in. I have the one socket there, so I just have to unplug for a second. Now, right here where the eye is, right along the edge of the eye, I'm just going to go in and put more little tiny purposeful black marks coming up and out. And then just slightly through that little sparse area we created. And then again, we're going to just sort of spot check with our black areas going into the white. Make sure we're happy with it. If you don't like it, just sort of drag the odd little piece of the black down further. Okay. And then we're going to make some more. There's an odd little line here. It's right out of the blonde, the black. So I'm going to drag my black pencil through that blonde area. It kind of comes out to about here. It gets a little bit darker, doesn't it? So just going to darken this area up just a little bit, spots. Into this blonde. Just doing very light pencil strokes, short to denote the fur length in the direction of the fur with the black. Okay. Now I'd like to bring some of that cold gray 4 above the nose. Still watching that fur direction. I'd like to bring it up. What are you doing? Are you going to climb on the door, Turkey? You want to be Mama's good boy? You want to come up on my lap? Okay. Nope. All right. Anyways, my cat's totally gone insane. And again, just deepening in that gray that we had in the cool gray. Just bringing in the cool gray 4, making it a little bit darker. Little tiny pencil strokes. And just lightly, and then we're just going to again go in and just darken up a bit more where we had created a little bit of a shadow here. We're just going to deepen this a little bit more. Then we have it. Again, just be careful of that fur direction. I know it's annoying to hear it, but this is the spot where it counts the most. What are you doing? Are you a nut? Oh, that's all right. It happens. Okay. I got him. He's a rescue. I got him about 7 years ago, but he never played with toys. He didn't really understand them. They found him outside of a pizza shop. But anyways, they didn't really understand toys. You kind of stand in the middle of a pile of toys and sort of like, what do you want me to do with these? He's very much kind of codependent. He doesn't really understand how, like, he doesn't understand catnip on any of that. It doesn't interest him at all. So, so he slowly over the years started. What? He's looking at the window. He slowly started playing with toys, but he still doesn't really get it. Like he does, he'll play with them and then he'll kind of look at you like, oh my God, where are you? I need to make sure you're close by still. So it's cute. It's endearing. But he does that. He'll cry when he plays because he just sort of wants reassurance that he's doing the right thing, I guess. I'm not really sure. What are you doing? Are you a crazy butt? You want to come see me? You know you're scratching the crap out of the couch. That's lovely. You want to come here? You come see mommy? It's like, no. I want to rip the apartment apart is what I want to do. Okay, so I'm just going to darken up again this area under the eye. Now it's not under the hole, it's just these little areas that we see that are darker. Sometimes when you bring in the darker colors, you realize your lights are too light. Hello, what are you doing? Now he's in the bedroom window. I don't know where. Well, I'm happy he's happy, so there's that. Okay. And then again, we're just going to move into this little mouth, upper mouth area. Watching that fur direction because it does change really weird right here, almost like abruptly. So I'm just going to move it around to kind of bring out how it's darker right here. And we're just lightly doing it again. My hand is still only about halfway up the pencil. So that way I'm still doing lighter strokes, the pencil, and not being too heavy-handed, because that is something I can do sometimes. And when it's nice little wispy areas like this, where, you have a little room to move with your pencil, it's prime time for me to do that because I'm not creating specific lines. Okay. And again, we're just going to darken in this area. And right here, just going to go into those areas that we did with sepia not too long ago and sort of deepen them in. Just right over top, with a little bit more pressure. Okay. It does seem to be a little bit darker right here. So again, I'm just adding a little bit of extra layers to this area. And then there seems to be an area right in here. I'm going to go back in again too and create a little bit darker spots. I'm not going in with the black here. You could do the little sparse hairs, but I don't think it's really necessary because they're so faint that I would rather bring in the shadows with the grays that are showing instead. I think that would make more of an impact than a bunch of black would at this point. Okay, so just lightly going through and darkening up those dark parts of the white fur with the cold gray 4. Just lightly blending out from the black here we created, just very lightly, and trailing back into the light color. Okay. And then I'm just going to do some short, sort of quick little brush strokes. Come up. Are you coming up? I don't know what you're doing that far. Short little pencil marks coming off of where we have the black. Just lightly in the direction of the fur. Just so we can bring in a hint of little hairs. Doesn't need to be thickly, just lightly. What are you doing? Oh my Lord. Okay. There's that. It's probably a good thing that we are almost done because I don't think Rory's going to have it. Okay. And we're just coming in lightly into this dark area too. Make sure it's all kind of cohesive and blended. I'm sorry for the shaking of the camera. It is driving me nuts seeing it in my peripheral even. And then just coming lightly up here as well. Just faintly going over this area, not thickly or heavy. Just very, 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 very lightly. Okay. And then I'm going to get my X-Acto knife. Oh, give my legs a bit of a stretch there. Okay, so my X-Acto knife is not a special one. You can get good ones. Mine was just in a drawing kit I had. So I tend to use the edge, the bottom of it, and the back side of it. And then if that doesn't work, then I come around the front, okay? Because you can very easily go right through the paper. So I'm going to avoid the black areas and come in more right here where the black goes into the white, where they start kind of merging. Okay, so let's try. So this again is mixed media paper. I don't really like that one. Let's see the bottom again. Let me see the top. Mine aren't overly sharp either because it's old, but I just want to check to see which one I like better. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like this better. I'm using the underside. And then I'm going to go lightly into this deep area here. Just lightly wisping the X-Acto knife on the underside, so the non-sharp side. and just wisping it in the direction of the fur again. And then just along where the black comes out into the white, I'm just doing light wisps with it to sort of bring in the notes of white hairs. And it does pull the pigments as well. When you're doing it, you'll notice that you may not see it on the paper here, but when you're actually up close on your own, you might notice that it's pulling on the pigment out. I'm also going to do it flat here, and just pulling some of the pigment down into the white or in the direction that you're pulling it. And again, on the underside of the blade. So this isn't actually the blade I'm using. This is underneath it, but this works. I actually like the texture of this better, so I don't mind doing this. Okay, and then we're just going to do some coming out of the mouth down here, some down right into the mouth. Okay, and then right here, we're just going to pull, I'm going to turn it over to the blade side. I'm just going to pull some into the darker areas and up and out. Okay, turn it back over to the underside because I find that better still, even for this. So, and then we come down, just coming from the outer edge of the eye and dragging it down. So, actually bringing some of the black down as we do it. Very, very faint. Beautiful. Okay. And then coming back on this side, just make sure you're going the direction where it goes. I know I'm harping on you about it, but it's always good to be reminded as you go. In the moment I don't, that you forget. Okay. And it does not look like our whiskers stood out too much, mostly because we didn't do a lot of dark colors around them. But I'd like to see, I don't want you guys to see, but I'm going to see, before I have you guys do it, I'm going to see what would happen if I brought in the white right where I have the whiskers, because I can still see them. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. But, now if anything, it seems to grade them up. What if we took the eraser pencil and did it? Actually, let me try this white. It doesn't seem to really make any difference. I mean, it creates a line, but almost like a soft gray in essence. So let's see. I know I have another eraser pencil in here. Is it sharp? It is not. Okay, I'm going to sharpen this. So last time for the annoying sharpener noise, I apologize. Give me 1 second. It is about to get noisy. Okay. And then we are just going to go along lines. It may not even work. I'm going to test it and see. Because the paper is not, it's not of the highest quality. It's just mixed media paper. So we're just going to go along that line. See if we can make it stand out at all. And there's one right here. So the sad thing is it isn't covered. It actually is white where that whisker is. It's just that we're not seeing it because it's such light pigment around the whiskers. So I'm just deepening it with the eraser pencil. Again, you can use a Tombow eraser pencil. They're like really good for detail. I just don't have any refills at the moment. Or you can use an entirely different pencil and go right over this with white if you wanted to, or cold gray. since people harp on using white so much. It's like every person who talks about white in their drawings has to like save their ass by mentioning you're not supposed to use white. But they all seem to do it at the same time. Even the ones who say they don't, I've still seen them do it. It's kind of funny. You don't want to rely on it, but it does happen. It does happen. In very rare cases, it does have its use. And white is a full spectrum color. It's not void of color. It has all the colors. So we're just making this extra colorful when we use white. But right now I'm just using eraser pencil and then wisping away any of the eraser, what do you call it, stuff. All right, my dears, looks like we are done. I'm just going to bring this around for you guys to see. Now plug is. Okay, we have the original and the dry. Okay, and you could bring in some more brown ochre if you'd like. There you go. Make sure if you do this tutorial that you share it out. Take care, guys.